The Fields of Athenry, Irish Songs, and episode 158. I am Rod Murphy, and this is Growing Up Poor in Irish Boston, a series of my 1950s era Irish Boston songs, history, jokes, and stories. And never let the truth interfere with a good story. Pete St. John, one of Ireland's most successful songwriters, died on March 12, 2022, at the age of 90. His legacy are the wonderful songs written during his long life. Some of those are Dublin City in the Rare Old Times, featured in my episode 150. The Ferryman, Waltzing on Borrowed Time, and The Fury Man. His songbook consists of hundreds of compositions recorded by over 2,500 artists. He was a founding member of the Irish Music Rights Organization and was always generous and supportive of younger songwriters, some of whom he continued to mentor well into his 80s. Pete was an extrovert who loved people. He was a voracious reader with a particular interest in Irish history. His son Kieran recalls his father writing The Rare Old Times after an accident recovery period, and then singing it to his family. The Dublin City Ramblers was the first band to cover that song, but it was Danny Doyle's version that achieved a real breakthrough. In 1978, he wrote his most well-known song, The Fields of Athenry. It is a tale of a man exiled to Botany Bay, Australia, for a lifetime of servitude for stealing food to feed his family during the Irish famine. The actual words in the song's lyrics is, "For you stole Trevelyan's corn, so the young might see the morn." That refers to Sir Charles Trevelyan, who championed a laissez-faire policy limiting government aid and famously viewing the famine as a divine, quote, judgment of God, unquote, sent to, quote, teach the Irish a lesson, unquote. He was a senior official of the Britain Treasury during the Irish famine of 1845 to 1852. Despite widespread Irish starvation and death, wheat, oats, and corn were still being exported from Ireland under British colonial policy. My favorite singer of this song is Frank Patterson. Pete paid close attention to the melding of lyric and melody and had a particular form in writing memorable melodies that sounded timeless, resonating deeply with listeners across all walks of life. St. John described his chosen craft this way, with much affection. Quote, "Songs are magic carpets. They can tell a story over and over again without boring the pants off the listener, and maybe take us out of ourselves for a few moments of peaceful escapism with easy-to-remember melody lines. The words can tell of the times and events in our daily lives that are worth noting or remembering." St. John was born Peter Mooney in the Inchicore section of Dublin in 1922. His parents were Tom and Lottie Mooney. He was the oldest of six, and he left school at the age of 16 and became an apprentice electrician in Limerick. He emigrated to Ontario, Canada in 1958 and went to work for Gert Gorman's electrical contracting company in the U.S. He then moved to Washington, D.C. and worked there also as an electrician. He married his sweetheart, Susie Burke, who was a well-known Dublin theatrical family member. They had two sons, Kieran and Brian. Pete traveled widely and became involved in the civil rights movement. He remained in the USA until 1970, returning to settle in North Dublin. When he returned to Dublin, he found a changed place from when he had grown up. That proved to be the spur that inspired his songwriting. He then chose St. John as his nom de plume, inspired by his school days when all the boys in his class were assigned saints' names. Pete St. John lived life to the fullest, and while he suffered ill health in his latter years with both diabetes and Parkinson's disease, he never lost his zest for life. His son Kieran describes his father with affection as a man who had 9 lives and lived all of them to the fullest. He lived independently at home until his final admission in 2022 to Beaumont Hospital. He is survived by his sons Kieran and Brian Mooney, their wives Mary Beth and Stephanie, his siblings Kieran, Kathleen, and Joy, and his granddaughters Aslan and Kira, and was predeceased by his wife Susie and his siblings Tommy and Pauline. I will now fail but attempt to do justice to this song, but great, sad, but great Irish song. Fields of Athenry by Pete St. John. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young girl calling, Michael, they have taken you away, for you stole Trevelyan's corn, so the young might see them on. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young man calling, Nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. Against the famine and the crown, I rebelled, they cut me down. Now you must raise our child with dignity. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. By a lonely harbour wall, she watched the last star falling, as the prison ship sailed out against the sky. Sure she'll wait and hope and pray for her love in Botany Bay. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. This is Rod Murphy. Thank you for viewing or listening to my YouTube and podcast episodes. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed them, please hit the subscribe button. Does not cost you anything, and it helps me to grow my audience. Again, my thanks.